Newspaper Review, Wednesday, 15th of July 2015. Let's look at the headlines of today's newspapers. Very first, Daily Mirror. General elections. I will remain neutral president. I want to fulfill my pledges in the next 5 years with a clean parliament. I agreed to nominate MR as there was heavy pressure from the SLFP and UPFA. Wanted the CB governor to resign over the bond issue. There is no change in the negative attitude towards MR. I dissolved parliament to thwart a move to bring MR in as PM through a no-confidence motion against the incumbent PM. President Maithripala Sirisena, in a hard-hitting statement, said he would remain neutral during the campaigning for the August 17 general election, and that this dislike of ex-President Mahinda Rajapakse and his antipathy towards him remains unchanged as at the January 8 election. Exclusively to the media at the President's Secretariat last afternoon, he said that he was under severe pressure by a large section of SLFP and UPFA members to agree to nominate Mr. Rajapakse, and was harangued by the UPFA allies when he refused to appoint him as a prime ministerial candidate in case of UPFA won the election. The President said he was compelled to dissolve Parliament on June 26 before the no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe could be taken up for a debate, because there were attempts to bring back Rajapakse and appoint him as a prime minister after getting a UPFA nationalist member to resign. Next headline, better for Mahinda if he loses Ranil. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who kicked off the election campaign of the United National Front for Good Governance in Kandy last evening, requested the people to have pity on former President Mahinda Rajapakse and his loyalists and stop them for coming into parliament. Mr. Wickremesinghe made this jocular remark with a reference to President Maithripala Sirisena's observation that those who rob public funds would be reborn as crows and dogs. Next headline, Karunaratne will be a march Waterloo. Akila Viraj. Education Minister Akila Viraj Karyavasam, who leads the UNP's Karunaratne district team, vowed to defeat former President Mahinda Rajapakse at Karunaratne in what he described as similar to the defeat of the invincible Napoleon Bonaparte at Waterloo. Next headline, UPFA claims easy win. The UPFA said yesterday it would win easily at general election because the 6.2 million who voted for President Sirisena at the president election would not vote for the UNFGG, through 5.8 million who voted for Mahinda Rajapakse would do so. Next, we move to Ceylon today. Mahinda's losing streak will continue. All the accusation against me will very shortly be swept away. Even if the SLFP wins the election, I will not give Mahinda the premiership. I was totally against nomination being given to Mahinda. No other president before me has ever been criticized as severely as I've been criticized. I have asked Ranil to tell the governor of the central bank to resign forthwith. Maitri lambats Mahinda. The president vowed that he will form a government with the victorious political parties after the 17th August election, and he has no intention of appointing Mahinda Rajapakse as a prime minister, adding further that he would continue to give leadership to the change ushered in on 8 January with the newly elected members after the general election. He said there would be a free and fair election, and he will support all the forces to help conduct a clean election. He has to be there for the next 4 years to continue to work for his country as he had promised. Speaking to media on the current political developments at President's Secretariat yesterday, the president said that if the SLFP win the election, there are several senior politicians in the party who can be the prime minister. Former President Rajapakse, who did not allow the deserving seniority get their due post, in now trying against to deny party seniors premiership by attempting to be PM even after completing 2 terms of the presidency. He also said that they ignored the corruption allegation mainly to implement of the 100-day program based on the manifesto with the parliament approval. President Sirisena said that his first intention was to dissolve the parliament on 10 January immediately after resuming as president on 9 January. However, he could not do so as he had to fulfill the task given under the 100-day program. As promised, I made Ranil Wickremesinghe PM through the UNP had only 47 members in parliament and succeeded in implementing the 100-day program that included the 19th amendment to curtail the excessive powers for the executive presidency, he said. Next headline, Sujiva files case against Regius Newspapers, demands 2 billion rupees. Former member of parliament of the United National Party and Deputy Minister of Justice, Attorney at Law Sujiva Arjuna Senasinghe has filed legal action against Regius Newspapers Limited, which publishes the Sunday Times, and its editor Sinha Ranatunga, requesting compensation of 2,000 million rupees. Senasinghe has filed legal action regarding 2 articles published in Sunday Times which is said to have insulted him. According to the complaint lodged, one of these articles was published on 12 April, another was published on 26 April. The article under the title "What is the Bug That Fixed Sujiva and Malani" appeared on 12th April, while other article was titled "Custom Say Deputy Minister minister tried to get seized copper roads released. According to the complaint filed, this headline said that the customs had stated that the deputy minister had attempted to get a load of the copper rods which had been banned released. Senasinghe said in his complaint that the topics of these two articles and the content therein had been published with the intention of harming his image and reputation. The complaint also pointed out that Senasinghe is a lawyer by profession and that he is reaping a successful harvest to his profession, and that he entered politics as a member of provincial council and later was elected as a member of parliament and recently was appointed as the deputy minister of justice, and that the country recognized him as a popular young politician. Next headline, Karuna upset, dumped from UPFA national list. The leaders of the UPFA promised Vinayaka Murthy Muralidharan aka Karuna Amman that he will be given a national list seat, Muralidharan said. Both Susil Premajayantha and Honorable Rajapakse confirmed that I would be given an opportunity to enter parliament via the national list, but in the end, the non-inclusion of the name is something most regrettable, Karuna Amman pointed out. Under these circumstances, he must take a decision in this regard, Karuna Amman told Ceylon today. During the crucial pass of the war, Gotabaya Rajapakse and Lakshman Alugalla met him and requested him to help the government. At that moment, he took a most perilous decision on behalf of the country, owing to which he had to even face criticism from certain sections of Tamils. Karuna Amman went on top elaborate that he included 600 Tamil cadres of the East to return against LTT, and among them 300 died during the war. Now he has to shoulder all those responsibilities for the former MP noted. I must say first and foremost that I am not happy with the present political climate. Both Susil Premajayantha and UPFA General Secretary and Anura Priyadarsana, the SLFA General Secretary, promised me that I could contest at the forthcoming election, he said. Next we move to Daily News. Maitri deflates MR. I will stay neutral. MR won't be PM even if UPFA wins. I was against the decision. My position still remains. While stressing that he will continue to stand again, former President Mahinda Rajapakse, President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday said that the Rajapakse will be defeated again as he was defeated on January 8. The president said he will form a government with the victorious political parties after August 17 election to fulfill the aspiration of the people who voted for the change on January 8. The president said that he has no intention to appointing Rajapakse as Prime Minister. I will continue to give leadership to change the assured on January 8 with the newly elected members after general election, President Sirisena said. Next headline, Justice D. Abreu withdraws petition filed in FC. Justice Sarath D. Abreu yesterday withdrew the petition he had filed in the Supreme Court to halt the police investigation in connection with a complaint by a domestic worker for an alleged assault incident. The attorney at law appearing in the Justice Abreu informed court that the client needs to withdraw his petition on the grounds that he has already been enlarged on bail by the magistrate. Next headline, MR's entry akin to IGP becoming an OIC JVP. The Janata Vimukti Peramuna yesterday said that even if former President Mahinda Rajapakse wins a parliament seat at the upcoming election, he will not be able to hold it for too long as there is serious allegation of alleged financial malpractice against him. JVP General Secretary Tilvin Silva, addressing the media, said ex-president had charges against him which were serious enough to earn severe punishment from court. Therefore, the former president will not last long in politics, so there is no need to harbor fears of the political comeback by him. He has fallen into in politics. That's the headlines of today's newspapers. We'll meet tomorrow with more headlines. Until then, log on with Athavan News.